All right, here we go. Question number 23 from our 0314 homework number 6 in MyLab Math. And the instructions say solve. So the thing we need to point out here is that we do have two separate radical expressions. Plus, on the other side, we have the 13, which is a constant. And this is probably going to be one of the harder ones that we're going to look at, okay? So remember what I've said in previous videos, if you're going to solve a radical equation, the first thing you need to do is isolate the radical. Well, since we have two radicals, what we're going to need to do is isolate one of them and then square both sides. So I'm going to take the plus square root of y to the other side. That's going to make it minus square root of y. And then that will get the first radical isolated. So we're going to have square root of y minus 13 equals 13 minus square root of y. And then at this step, I need to square both sides. So squaring a square root gets rid of the square root. That's going to leave me y minus 13. But on the other side, we have a binomial squared. And that means that we're going to end up having to do the FOIL method. So we're going to have 13 minus square root of y times 13 minus square root of y. And we're going to have to FOIL that. Okay, curses foiled again. Here we go. Y minus 13 comes down. And doing the FOIL method, we're going to start with first 13 times 13, that is 169. On the outside, minus 13 square root of y, because 13 times the square root of y is just 13 square root of y. On the inside, we have another negative 13 square root of y. And last but not least, negative times a negative makes a positive. Square root of y times square root of y is the square root of y squared. Because anytime you multiply radicals together, you multiply their radicands. So if the indexes are the same, which they are, a square root of y times square root of y gives me square root of y times y, which is y squared. And then we need to simplify, okay? So the y minus 13 comes down. On the other side, we have 169. We've got some like terms. Negative 13 square root of y minus 13 square root of y. That is minus 26 square root of y. And remember, the index on a square root is a 2. So anytime the index and the exponent match here, they're going to cancel, and that's going to leave me just y. The square root of y squared is y. Now, notice that we still have a radical symbol. So we're now going to need to isolate the radical and square both sides again, okay? So now we're going to have to get this square root of y by itself. And to do that, we're going to have to bring the 169 this way and the plus y this way, okay? So we're going to have, well, look at this. I've got a y over here. This y is going to become minus y. So in other words, these y's are going to cancel out. And I'm going to have negative 13 minus 169 equals negative 26 square root of y. Okay, so let's combine like terms. Negative 13 minus 169. Going to check that with the calculator. Negative 13 minus 169, negative 182 equals negative 26 square root of y. And then remember, we're trying to get the radical by itself. So I now need to divide by the coefficient. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 26 and see how that gets the radical all by itself, okay? So now we need to know what is the square root, what is negative 182 divided by negative 26. Whew, it divides evenly. Thank the good Lord. 7 equals square root of y. Now we can get rid of the square root by squaring both sides. The square and the square root cancel, and we're all but done. 7 squared is 49, and so we get y is 49. And we probably should check that. So let's show the checking step. To check it, we're going to plug back into the original problem, which is square root of y minus 13. So instead of y, that's going to be 49 minus 13 plus square root of y, which is 49, equals 13. All right, so what is 49 minus 13? 49 minus 13 is 36. So that's going to be square root of 36 plus square root of 49 equals 13. Well, the square root of 36 is 6, and the square root of 49 is 7. And I believe 6 plus 7 does indeed equal 13. So that does check out, which means 49 should be the correct solution. And if we check that in MyLab Math, bam, we are done. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those in the comment section below, or you can text me. And thanks for watching.